So now let's understand the employee side of things. So given that ESOPs are becoming ubiquitous in startups, what are the general expectations from employees about ESOPs? Also, would these expectations differ from business teams, tech teams, product teams?
I completely agree with Ruchi. I think, and especially when you become larger, strike price will have implications on how ESOPs reflect in your profit and loss, and hence your valuation. Especially if you are going to be public, which is a significant possibility for a lot of companies. The way it sits on balance sheet. I also completely agree with her on being viewed as fair, uniform, reasonable, and so on. Right? I think ESOPs, like, I mean, it's an asset class that derives value from trust, and fundamentally knowing that the founding team, the board, thinks about ESOPs fairly for everyone is important. That's how people kind of it vests over a period of time, right? So it's not something that you will. It's far more valuable than money. At Bombay Shaving Company, I think the two three things that we try to do, and I think which have worked for us is, number one is, I think we always we like personally I always feel like people like incoming when someone is hired, whatever number of stock options they have and the value of those stock options minus the exercise price, right? I actually waterfall it out, saying this is what the value is today. You exercise it at this much, this is what is actually supposed to be worth. And if you do well over the next 4 years, right, the company believes in continuously giving you stock options. We actually have quarterly or 6 monthly stock grants to people, more at the senior level, lesser at the junior level, but it's fewer number but far more frequent, right? And we have discussions around, okay, if you start with 100 stock options, how do you get to 500? And you start at 1,000 rupees a share, how does the company get to 10,000 rupees a share, for example? So how does your holding go from 50 lakh to 5 crore? That's broadly, like, depending upon the kind of person and so on, but that conversation is had. We waterfall it out on a whiteboard when that hiring conversation happens. The second thing that we try to do is we try to keep share price extremely, uh, transparent. Of course, what Chaitanya talks about from a tool and a portal where you can see it, but more, we actually have our share price on a screen in the office, and it's a part of conversations between people. It's a part of WhatsApp groups. How do we get to 50,000 rupees per share? How do we get to 1 lakh rupees per share, and so on? What does it mean? What do different departments have to do? What does revenue have to get to, and so on, right? So people have a understanding of what the company needs to do to earn that value that they will partake in, right? And what their role needs to be. The third thing that we try to do is we actually we have 14 members of management and 5 people in the leadership team, right? I've actually given each of them specific pools within the ESOP pool, saying, hey, you have 1,000 shares to allocate to your team. I want to see how you do it. Here are the founding principles of how I did it with you guys. Now, how do you do it for your teams as you build it out? Because I cannot continuously do it, right? And then these obviously different people come with different philosophies. It becomes, there's a discussion. We have an ESOP committee which sits every 6 months, says, okay, this is how much we need to give to this person. And then people come back and say, hey, I want to expand my pool. 1,000 is not enough. I need 2,000. And they have to justify why do they need it and what value they're adding to the company and so on, right? So it should become, like Chaitanya and Ruchi said, it should become a part of corridor conversations, just the way public companies' share price is, right? Public companies, people talk about, like, if you go to HDFC Bank or Infosys or anything, they know how much stock they have, how much will they get in the market if they sell, how much tax they have to pay. It's natural math. But in private companies, it doesn't happen. So we have to enforce it. The only way it gets enforced is if founders and early team members continuously talk about it without being secretive or kind of, defensive about it. Sometimes when the company doesn't do well, it does drop and it's fine. But you have to have the conversation. So I agree with Ruchi entirely. I think transparency and continuously beating the philosophy down and then doing small things which empower people to take calls, I think that works.
Revolutionize your startup's equity management with Qapita. Request a demo today.